Okay, so this was originally going to be a video making fun of Little Mac, basically highlighting how inane and childish his rant videos are, which are effectively a means for him to get attention. However, you already knew what those were about. Instead, let's take the time to go ahead and discuss that, which you probably know little to nothing about. I joined the Super Smash Bros. 2 community officially on August 1st, 2014, after keeping tabs on the game for a long time. I did so not only due to an online mode being added, which would allow for me to play others, but due to a major depression I was suffering from at the time. There weren't too many good things in my life going for me, so taking the time to play a free Flash game on the internet based on one of my favorite fighting games wasn't exactly going to kill me. Upon my entry into the community, I started off playing Sonic, and to my surprise, I was actually halfway decent at the game. I joined the IRC, made 2 guides involving setting up X-Pattern, how to record videos utilizing OBS, and the rest was history. I was a pretty active voice in the community overall, always ready with a shitty joke or able to play a game with someone. I started up Flashcast as well, Super Smash Bros. 2's unofficial podcast. It'd be an understatement to say I had plenty of dedication to the game, as well as the community as a whole. Over time, the IRC died, and Slack sort of rose from the ashes. Little to nothing changed besides the addition of a single person to our small community. I won't mention his name because you already know who I'm talking about, and it's getting really old having to deal with him. I essentially have a psych profile on the guy at this point, and it's ridiculous. Anyways, the community always had a relative issue with immaturity, but it seemed to only grow with said person's involvement. Ha! 9/11, right guys? That was funny the 80th time I've heard it. Anyways, it became stifling to even talk in the Slack chat, which led to the formation of a Discord group in which me and several others joined in order to have normal-ass conversations again without repetitive-ass memes or stupidity plaguing it. This is also around the time that Super Smash Bros. 2 Beta's Apex build was leaked. The developers took a great deal of time trying to figure out who exactly leaked the build, which led to a halt in the development of Beta as a whole. After several people ended up getting banned over the leaks, I decided to mull in their private Skype chat in order to have some conclusive evidence and make sure everyone that deserved the ban took the L. After all, these were people I once were close to and spoke with fairly often. Needless to say, I spent the next 3 days literally scrolling and pasting every single word they said, along with screenshots. And my god, I was doing this shit not only at work, but at home as well. I barely slept the entire time. A majority of what was said is pretty damning, including but not limited to false cease and desist orders and plotting to steal the engine. Because I have no doubt in my mind that we can make the dopest shit, and then someone links Unity Basics. A YouTube video on Unity, the basics. Fucking Christ. After all was said and done, the person leading the group was permanently banned, and the rest received temporary bans for the summer. Pretty fair, I would say. Beta was allowed to once again go back into production. However, it received a pretty big hit after a certain person ended up leaving the dev team, which, by all accounts, he was allowed to and had every right to do. I mean, when you see your name dragged through the mud by people that are essentially parroting a manipulative jerk and dealing with all the stress that came from all of this, kind of does that to you. So, now that we've gone over the past, let's flash forward to right now. Beta remains unreleased, and people are getting very antsy over not having it. To to the point of ridiculously undeserved rage and a sense of entitlement that a rich boy would be proud of. What exactly happened? Well, simple. And this might be new information for some of you, but don't overreact. Number 1. Beta was supposed to be released Halloween 2016. Unfortunately, it was unable to meet that deadline. Number 2, and this one you already do know. Beta was officially announced to be released in December of 2016, around Christmas. It was, again, unable to meet that deadline. Now, me knowing the dev team and me knowing how they operate, that wasn't ever going to be the case. And I tried to lessen the blow over the month by just blatantly being like, hey, this shit ain't gonna come out. But optimism, you know. My attempts pretty much proved futile, and 2017 hit, no beta was available to the players. Lots of people were pissed off and just really showing off that sense of entitlement. But let me be honest and real with you guys. While the developers of SSF2 should take some of the blame for beta not coming out, people with little to no idea of game design, especially fan game design, you don't need to be complaining, really. Yes, it does suck that your game isn't available to you, and as of right now, still isn't. Yes, it does suck that there are other people playing the game, or rather playtesting, which are two completely separate things that just goes to show how ignorant you guys are. Okay? Sorry, but it's how it works. You playtest something, get all the bugs out, and then when the game actually does come out, you can play it and it'll be a-okay, little to no bugs. Great! But you're also forgetting that this is a free Flash game, made out of love for not only the players, but for Smash Brothers as a whole. You are more than welcome to play other games. I mean, I'm pretty sure there are 4 official Smash games out there, 3 of which you can easily play on a computer. And, there's another one out there, it's another fan game, what is it? Crusade? Crusade, that's right, yeah, Crusade. Along with, gosh, like hundreds of other fighting games you could be playing while you wait for this one to come out. What I'm coming down to, what the bottom line is that the sense of entitlement is completely uncalled for. You guys are really immature, and you're just inexperienced with dealing with this, but hopefully you learn at some point. I don't know. For the developers, however, you need to take the time to make your development cycle clear to the players. This doesn't mean you need to break your NDA or reveal a release date or anything you've done in the past, you know, because that clearly worked out. The former just serves to get rid of the hype. I mean, we saw this with the beta leaks. It just kind of shuts everyone down. And the latter just causes a hatred to develop out of nowhere due to a feeling of being lied to. Being honest and open with your community goes a long way towards keeping your player base complacent. I know this from experience, and you can look at any fucking development team out there and you can see this. Look at Overwatch. Look at any game that releases patch notes or anything. Granted, those games are also out, but just the sheer amount of information that comes from them, just, it's a good thing, trust me. And you don't have to break your own rules in order to do that. Now, not all of your reasoning for the things you've done or did are going to be 100% accepted by the community, but having a reason at all to begin with, instead of overall silence, is better for obvious reasons. Now, while I am taking a back seat in the community now, due to a general disgust for the player base, I do have high hopes for the future when beta is released. If the game is good and fun, I really have no reason not to play it if it does come out at this point. Regardless of how I feel towards the community now, deep in me I feel a sense of thanks and gratitude for helping me out of a dark place. That's why I did what I did regarding the leaks, along with why I'm addressing the developers and community right now. Realistically, I'm just trying to help you guys. Things are going to need to change in the future for this community to grow any further than it already has. And I have very little doubt in my mind that when the changes do come, they will be for the better. This is Ebonic Plague, also known as Afro Warrior, signing out. Thanks for listening.